What is progress without vision?
Does this feel right?
What do we believe?
How will we navigate the future?
Is sustainability enough?
What makes us stronger?
What is progress without vision?
How do we live in the future?
Can we rethink mobility?
What sparks our passion? Where does a circle
Where does a
begin?
circle begin?
Where does a circle begin?
Where does the circle begin?
Hey, I'm Gemma Stiles. Did you ever ask yourself where our passion comes from? You can see me here in a creative space without any restrictions, where new ideas can be developed with absolute freedom. This is so important because our world needs change. To tackle the challenges we face today, we need the freedom to embrace new thinking in order to change our world for the better. I keep going because I believe that embracing innovation and caring for others will lead us to a brighter future. We can all help to create a better world and a positive impact, however large or small your changes are. But we can't solve our problems through individual action alone. We need organisations and businesses to step up too. We'll navigate the future by questioning many things and reinventing ourselves. Reinventing how we consume, how we interact with our environment. We need to embrace circularity and make the most of our resources. I like to know that products I use have had another life before and haven't been thrown away. Even better if they'll have a new life after me too. Sustainable thinking also means questioning ourselves, how we can make mobility smarter so that we all have the right choice of vehicle in every situation, to travel as we want to in our world, the sustainable way. Let's sum it up. We can all start moving in the right direction. All of us can do it. Right now. So let's hear from a company that's already on its way. Hi, Oliver. Can you tell us what's your contribution?
Thank you, Gemma. It's an impressive world we find ourselves in. I think as a company, we have much to offer, not just virtually, but also physically. At the heart of everything we do is our passion for mobility. Mobility brings us together. It's a deep-seated need within us. And mobility drives prosperity. It always has and always will. I have no doubt about that. But now, what will mobility look like in the future? That question is at the center of emotional debates, also for us. And our task is to create and offer solutions. For us, technology and innovations are the key to the future. This is about new drives, different fuels, maximum connectivity, and intelligent systems. But most of all, it's about one thing: sustainability. Future generations will depend on the decisions we make today. And that is why we are clearly committed to the 1.5-degree target of the Paris Climate Agreement and establishing circularity as a fixed part of our strategy and in our products. For us, there is no premium without sustainability. Now, ladies and gentlemen, reimagine today to reshape tomorrow. The BMW iVision Circular is much more than just a design study. It's a commitment. It's our commitment. It embodies our ambition to become the most sustainable car company in the world. It has been engineered entirely in line with the principles of the circular economy. The BMW iVision Circular is made almost entirely from recycled materials and is 100% recyclable. Every last detail has been optimized for circularity. The car is our proof point and our vision. We have the right solutions for the future. The BMW iVision Circular shows what can be done when the whole life cycle is considered. I know you're waiting to get a first glimpse of our Neue Klasse. It definitely isn't yet. But with this mindset, we are developing it. Digital, electric, and circular. These are the three fundamental cornerstones of the Neue Klasse. And circularity is what the BMW iVision Circular embodies. It's the sustainable car of the future. Driving pleasure in its purest form. In developing the BMW iVision Circular, our teams followed 4 key principles: rethink, reduce, reuse, and recycle. And to explain what's behind these 4 terms, we are joined by our design chief, Adrian van Hooydonk. Adrian, welcome.
The BMW iVision Circular is a city car designed from the outset to meet the principles of a circular economy. The overall impression is one of clarity and focus, with a sleek, modern exterior and a surprisingly warm and luxurious interior. The profile is a clear one-box design, with strong shoulders and a wide stance, compact and energetic at the same time. In the creation of this design vision, we had to rethink every aspect of design, engineering, and disassembly. Then we looked to reduce wherever we could. The front-end design is a strong symbol for this approach. We have significantly reduced complexity, no chrome, no kidney frame, no decorative elements. Even the BMW logo is etched into the surface. The headlights and kidney grille merge into a single, unmistakable double icon. That means that our brand identity is now expressed through light and digital elements in the exterior. The body itself is made of recycled aluminium. It is not painted. The surface is anodized in bronze. The recycled steel in the rear is treated with different temperatures to create this unique look. So this vision is packed with new ideas that combine sustainability with a new and inspiring aesthetic. Not only in the exterior, also in the interior. We have created the BMW iVision Circular on a minimal footprint, yet at the same time offering a spacious, luxurious interior. All surfaces are made of recycled materials with a modern touch, high value, and an aesthetic that tells a story. A highlight in the interior is the floating dashboard, an example of achieving more with less. With its lighting effects, it shows the intelligence of this vision and is a piece of art in and of itself. But at the same time, it consists of very few materials. And to reduce even further, all necessary information is shown on the windscreen. Every aspect of this vision has been designed for easy disassembly and separation of materials. In order to achieve this, most parts are mounted with one single but beautiful fastener. Developing fully circular products is challenging and will require quite a lot of research. And with the BMW iVision Circular and the Circular Lab, we have started this exciting journey, and the ideas and approaches we develop here will find their way into our production vehicles in the next few years. Alongside electrification, circular design is now becoming another cornerstone of the BMW brand. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, The BMW iVision Circular provides a glimpse of our circular future. It shows our mindset, our long-term objective, and how bold our thinking really is. Just take our secondary first approach. We plan to use a lot more secondary materials in our efforts to protect the environment. It means we will need fewer primary resources, which will also allow us to be more economically independent. Our motto is reduce now. We are doing our part, making a difference today, tomorrow, and far beyond that, with a real impact in the places where emissions occur, in ways that are scientifically verifiable. And at the same time, we are also picking up the pace. We are committed to the goal of complete climate neutrality by 2050 throughout the entire value chain. We are the first German automotive manufacturer to join the business ambition for 1.5-degree campaign. In short, net zero carbon emissions from 2050. A key factor in this will be our ramp-up of electromobility. The rollout of the Neue Klasse from 2025 on will be the next major steps towards this. And it is already taking shape today. The Neue Klasse is the clear focus of our investments for the future. Our new vehicle architecture is uncompromisingly electric, with an entirely new IT and software architecture, BEV only. Our goal is to have 10 million fully electric vehicles on the roads within the next 10 years. By 2030, every second vehicle that rolls off our assembly lines worldwide will be fully electric. And from that point, Mini will also be electric only. By 2030, we will reduce our CO2 emissions from our global vehicle fleet during the use phase by half. It means we will also meet the EU targets for 2030. Over the full life cycle, this adds up to 40% less CO2 per vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, those are just a few of the aspects lining our road to sustainability in mobility. But at the BMW Group, it is also about the people who drive change and shape it with their ideas.
It's the desire for innovation. Innovation for our products and their production, having circularity in mind.
Nachhaltigkeit. For BMW, sustainability means caring about resources, utilizing renewable energies, and showing appreciation for nature.
The BMW i4 and iX are produced with regional and green electricity from hydropower plants of the Isar and Lech rivers.
Even in the early phase of development, much attention is paid to ensuring components are sustainable in production and can be recycled afterwards.
The recycling rate at the plant is over 90%. The ratio of recovery, well over 99%. 45% of Dingolfing's water needs come from its own wells.
Driving in the future that's effortless and sporty.
These are just a few examples of how joy and sustainability go together.
The colleagues you see in this film represent all of us at the BMW Group. Sustainability and e-mobility are the focal points of all our actions. The BMW i4 in particular shows that e-mobility has made its way deep into the heart of the BMW brand. Together with the BMW iX, it epitomizes the perfection of electric driving, pleasure made by BMW. Fully electric for locally emission-free mobility. With a range of up to 600 kilometers, ideal for getting around town as well as between towns, with short charging times and perfectly designed for the digital future. The BMW i4 and BMW iX illustrate our capacity for innovation, our technological expertise, and our right timing. Across our global production network, we continue to reduce CO2 emissions despite building more vehicles every year. And this is important because only an absolute reduction in CO2 emissions will slow climate change. We have used only green power for our global production since 2020. The immediate and measurable effect of this is that CO2 emissions have already decreased by 1/4. And now, from 2021, all our production sites worldwide will be net carbon neutral. At this time, we're still using corresponding certificates for this. Our motto is reduction before offsets. We therefore plan to reduce our production's carbon footprint by another 80% by 2030. Sustainability can only have a real impact in conjunction with digitalization, which is another decisive enabler for the mobility of the future. Now, take a look at what we came up with.
Every city faces its own specific challenges.
In Nederland hebben we de hoogste dichtheid.
In the Netherlands, we have the densest charging network in Europe.
Deze ontwikkeling gaat
This development goes hand in hand with a growing number of electric vehicles within limited public space. The city of Rotterdam is no exception. Today, electric cars often stand at a charging point a lot longer than is necessary for charging. That's inefficient because it prevents others from accessing the charging point. Now, imagine authorities no longer have to enforce that people remove their vehicles. What if an EV driver receives a smartphone notification with a kind request to release the charging point for others? That's what our app does. It informs owners when their cars are sufficiently charged. With this project, we achieve better utilization of the existing and future charging infrastructure in cities. Together, we shape the future of sustainable urban mobility.
This project from the Netherlands can perhaps be combined with an exciting idea from California.
Our idea, why not charge when power is cleanest and best for the grid?
Together with the state of California, the BMW Group is working with California energy providers. We've developed a smartphone app called Charge Forward, which intelligently determines when the best and most sustainable time to charge is. BMW Charge Forward drivers simply plug in, then their charge is automatically shifted to the best times. This ensures their vehicle is powered with greener energy at the lowest cost. And I think that's a fabulous idea.
I was born and raised here in Beijing, and I love the city. Everyone living in a big city like Beijing is often confronted with traffic. A short journey during rush hour can take a very long time. Even taking the subway is not always an easy task. In very busy subway stations, it can take half an hour for you to board a train. So we are trying to come up with some new ideas for travel in Beijing. To improve this situation, a pilot project was carried out last year. People were able to book a specific time to enter the subway station via an app. The results were very positive. So we are now working hard to implement this idea for Beijing's road traffic. The work at BMW inspired me a lot. What we do now may change the future. It's really exciting to think about.
Digital services make mobility even easier for our customers, be it charging, finding a parking space, or even just integrating different methods of transport in intelligent ways. Alongside digitalization, use of space plays an increasingly important role in this. Ultimately, this is what Mini was born for, creative use of space. And that is what the Urbonaut stands for. We premiered it virtually last year. The feedback was overwhelming. And that is why it is standing here today in Munich in real life. Ladies and gentlemen, two-wheeler concepts play an increasingly important role, especially for mobility in cities. When it comes to urban two-wheeler concepts, BMW Motorrad relies exclusively on e-drives.
Usually our job is a bit mundane. When the commission came, yes, that we were actually allowed to design such an open project with an open outcome, we were chuffed to bits. For us, that really was the cherry on the cake. Sure, in the past we'd had really cool concepts in-house, such as our C1. That was well ahead of its time.
Yes, it was ahead of its time, but it was also its time. But that also had to come to an end at some point. I reckon the product has to convince you at first sight, but not in a conventional way, so that one looks at it and thinks, wow, what's that?
It shouldn't be cerebral, nor should it primarily be communicating, I'm safe. Fun should be the priority. Emotion.
That you get straight off.
Right, precisely.
Yeah.
We have to do it right.
Yeah, we'll get it right.
Ultimately, it's as if we've set out on a journey. We didn't even have this young target group on our radar at all. First of all, we had to tap into it, as it were.
Anyone using the product has to grasp the design from the start. What is the statement? What's the story it's telling? I reckon smart mobility is something that has to be out of the norm. It has to be unexpected. And this moment, this unexpectedness, plays an extremely decisive role in all three concepts.
In order to break new ground, we need a new aesthetic language. You see straight off, 2 wheels, battery case, engine, that's it. The proportion's totally new, as yet unseen. This simple setup also makes access easy, something you don't have with a classic motorbike. The vehicle is your stage.
We're faced with a variety of questions. It definitely has to be zero emission, it has to be safe, it has to be fast, it has to be connected and socially accepted. But for us, what's far more important is whether it grabs you emotionally. It needs to take your breath away.
Here we are,
our baby. You two have really been analyzing the target group in depth. How do they tick?
They're young. They want a really cool design. They don't want something people already know.
They want a memorable experience. They want to enter new territory, new proportions.
And at the end of the day, they're really curious too. That's why we've played with life hacks too, of course.
I'd say, go for it. Have fun. But what is passion without a vision?
Adaptive mobility is another solution we are working on. Maximum flexibility, that is what customers want all over the world. And yet, in cities, we often think in the same old categories: car, motorcycle, bicycle, or public transport. Can you imagine mobility in one vehicle? These vehicles don't fit into any category. Do you want to use the bicycle path, but still zip around in motorized traffic? Ride through parks and green spaces, but not be tied to bike paths? That is exactly what these two vehicles make possible. How does it work? Well, the speed is restricted depending on where you are riding, either manually or automatically, using geofencing technology in combination with detailed here maps. And this means you can go no faster than 25 kilometers an hour on cycle path. while on city center roads, you would be limited to 45 kilometers an hour. And on bigger roads or outside urban areas, you could reach up to 60 kilometers an hour. Our BMW iVision MB is also geared towards the principles of the circular economy. For example, with a frame made of secondary aluminum and mounted parts of recycled plastic. They both show that we don't have to think about future mobility in terms of fixed categories. Ladies and gentlemen, curbing climate change and managing resources is a responsibility for all of us. We are doing our part to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees and paving the way for circular, closed-loop models. You can always rely on the BMW Group. We have a clear vision of what the future will look like, how we will finance it, and which technologies we will use to achieve it. Premium needs responsibility. And that is what BMW stands for. Thank you.